Hello, my name is Felix Schiessl and I'm leading technology innovation in Accenture Austria, Switzerland, Germany and Russia, as well as all of our technology incubation groups in Europe. I'm happy to sponsor our TechInnoValue fireside chats in which Accenture's top experts share their view on innovation and on our future.
Hi, I'm Felix Schiessl. I'm a member of Matthias' team and I drive the quantum computing community and technology innovation marketing in Accenture Austria, Switzerland, Germany and Russia. I'm excited to get valuable insights from my guests in this series, so stay up to date by following our hashtag TechInnoValue. Today I'm with Corinna Krezer. She is Health and Public Services Lead at Accenture Austria, Switzerland and Germany. Corinna, what do you do as an HNPS lead?
Hi, Felix. So as an HNPS lead, I'm actually responsible for all kind of projects that we're doing in the DACH region in ESG when it comes to health clients, which means especially payer organizations and also hospitals, but also on the public sector side, all kind of ministries on a federal and state level mainly. If you look at our major clients, it's mainly around, for example, in Austria, the social insurance, and in Germany, the Federal Ministry of Finance. And if we go on the state level, we're working closely with various IT service providers on the state level, for example, providing any kind of policing solutions. And the intention behind all that is really to help our clients to drive digitization, but not in the sense of driving technology and for the benefit of technology, but really to make any kind of difference for state, society, and each and every citizen.
So you talked already about technology, and if we're looking at innovation, how important is innovation in the public sector?
I think that dramatically changed over the last years. So in the last, I would say, 2 to 3 years at least, even a bit longer, innovation really got a very important and high priority because that kind of need for digitization was clearly recognized. Also, if you look at the kind of coalition contract of our still current government, it's a clear focus in there, and the pandemic even increased it. And I think there's a strong awareness that you cannot achieve digitization by approaching things like we did in the past. We need to change the way how things are tackled, how things are approached, the way of working methods, the way of thinking about problems and finding solutions. So it clearly changed, not only in methodology and approach, but also with respect to openness to new technologies.
Awesome. So what are major challenges in the public sector impeding innovation?
From my perspective, the key challenge is really a cultural perspective, because if you look at public sector, for many, many years, a very high priority was doing stuff correct. Doing stuff correct means to avoid to make any kind of mistakes. And that's a kind of contradiction to innovation, because innovation means you do not always know the kind of result which you will achieve at the end, but you need to try stuff. And if you try stuff, you will make mistakes. That's part of innovation. And I think that's a kind of difficult turn to take. Again, if you talk to high-ranked government representatives, there's a clear awareness that the culture needs to change if you want to really get to innovation. But nevertheless, it's a major change transformation, which you need to embark to really get there.
And now we've looked at the inside. How about the outside? So is the user of public services open for innovative products and services?
Yes. Overall, I would say clearly yes. Nevertheless, when it comes to questions around data privacy and data protection, for example, it's still interesting if you look how critical citizens are if it comes to any kind of government digital products. For example, the entire discussion around the Corona Warn app. compared to what citizens are willing to use and basically actually use in terms of private products. So yes, they are open and there are enough statistics and surveys which prove that if more digital products, innovative products are available, citizens would use it. But nevertheless, it's also very critical kind of assessment when it comes to the question, what kind of data will the government have and all these kind of things.
And which new technologies are game changers for government agencies?
I think it's not so much different from a private sector. It might be different in terms of timing. And so, for example, when you talk about AI and data, that's definitely in the center of a lot of discussions. We are talking about responsible AI, of course. The federal government in Germany, for example, published now the data strategy with a very, very long list of different initiatives driving stuff forward. So tick mark on AI and data. When it comes to cloud as a kind of enabling infrastructure, of course, we got to take into account that a government, a state needs to think about digital sovereignty. But also there, and you also can read it in the media in the meanwhile, there are currently discussions in terms of how to build a sovereign cloud on the one hand side to really ensure the sovereignty of the German state, but at the same time, allow or open up the opportunity which you get out of the hyperscalers or the investments hyperscaler do in their current cloud products. That's still an ongoing discussion. We will see where it ends, but I think it's at least there's a clear awareness that there needs to be a solution in terms of to really build that kind of infrastructure. And if you look a little bit more into the future when it comes to quantum computing and stuff like this, if you look at the stimulation package, which was basically born out of the pandemic, it also includes investments into these kind of not future technologies, but leading edge technologies, for example, in quantum computing. So it's basically the entire range.
All right. And looking on the organizational side again, so also clients in industry have, for example, innovation labs. What's your opinion on government innovation labs?
I think it's a very important part also in terms of driving that kind of cultural change, which I mentioned, because you need to kind of also demonstrate that you do things different now, and innovation labs definitely got a very important role in this. I think the key element is that innovation labs become part of the overall process and strategy. So we are not talking about any kind of fancy pilots and things where you go to an innovation lab and play around a little bit, but it needs to become part of the core digital transformation. And if we manage to get there, I think they play a very, very important role.
Thanks a lot for the insights, Corinna. And with that, I also want to ask all the people watching to follow Corinna on LinkedIn, follow her on the HNPS blog from Accenture, and make sure to stay tuned with our series. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Felix. Thanks.